Holla ballers and a brofist to you all! It is time once again on this fine Friday afternoon to celebrate some drama time! Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Okay. Alright, let's go. Preacher! And of course the wonderful Drama Time audience joining us here on a Friday afternoon. I just recently discovered the Drama Time channel. Welcome, my friends. You've got like 10 years worth of drama stories to go through. And I'm enjoying it a lot. It's interesting to look back at all the different tales that gamers have or had over the years. And I want to share mine. It's not the longest tale, nor the most drama-filled. It's not even about a crazy guild or a weird raid or even a specifically horrific expansion. My story is simply the various experiences, some that I find hilarious, some that are extremely sad, of a real-life blind gamer. Oh, you're really blind. Okay. How does that work? I'm not disparaging the blind, but how? How does that work? I mean, I know that that famous Deaf WoW guild that's defeated all the mythic bosses. They're awesome. Like that, the Deaf guild makes sense to me. Like they work through different ways, but how does okay, let's find out. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's do some learning together. Yes, I'm not trolling you, Mike. I am blind. Fully 100% blind. I have no usable vision at all. So you might be wondering, how can I game? I am. Okay, so we're playing WoW. During the Burning Crusade Classic, so relatively recent, an add-on was developed in Germany for blind WoW players. It's called SKU. Well played, Germany. It started simply as a way to press a key and your health and mana is announced in audio. That sounds so annoying. But, I mean, if you're blind, I mean, anything's better than nothing, right? But it quickly grew and grew. And the developer put so much more work into it to the point where the entire game is now playable. Oh, we have to try this. Oh, we totally have to do this. Chris, this is a video for Monday, for sure, dude. Right? I'll be blindfolded and see what I can do. Everything from reading and manipulating bags and everything in them. Putting on and taking off gear, buying, selling, any action bar manipulation, putting spells on, taking them off and binding. But aren't you like dragging and dropping randomly somewhere on the screen? You don't know where the action bars are. How does this work? Like I can picture myself like you've opened the spell book, you're touching the spell and then generally going where it should go. But I only know that because I know where I put the action bar. That sounds insane. Of course, Mike, it has limitations. The biggest one being maps. Imagine a game of connect the dots. Each NPC, mob spawn point, mining herb node, and quest objective is a dot. Say we just used our Hearthstone, and we're now standing at an innkeeper in Stormwind. We want to get to the Flight Master, which our add-on allows us to do is open a menu, select Flight Master from a list, and we are given turn-by-turn directions to get to the Flight Master. It uses the dots I mentioned earlier, so it may take you first to the inn, and then to the mailbox. And then by this process, you get where you need to be. It tells you to turn and walk a bit until you get to the next dot, etc., until we reach the destination. I am totally doing this on Monday. Yeah, this is a Monday afternoon angle. That's the bare basics of how this add-on works and how we navigate the game as blind players using the SKU add-on. The only things you need to know about how our add-on actually works is that in order to have available waypoints, that's what we call the dots, yeah, okay, someone with vision has to actually manually go and use the mapping version and manually map out each point for us. Yeah, of course. It's a lot of work and a huge, huge props to the community of people who have actually started investing their time to map out every zone in the game so that blind players can play. The second thing, instances cannot be mapped at all. Our mapping portion of the add-on just fails to function in instanced areas because the data our maps need is unavailable in instances because of shitty raiders and the restrictions that come with botting. That makes sense. Yeah, the fact that it's to say that... So if you don't know, in World of Warcraft, there's some functionality that exists outside of instanced areas that does not work inside. To prevent things like botting, obviously. Because if you could, like, program the character to walk in certain directions, then it makes botsing much easier. And also, a lot of it is disabled so that raiders don't build crazy add-ons that do things for them. But I still do dungeons. Okay, how? I don't understand how you cope. This is so mind-boggling. How do you cope with enemies moving around? What? I need to process this. All right, question for the live audience. If you were blind, what class would you play? It'd have to be a caster, right, with auto-targeting. I mean, melee must be impossible. A hunter, a mage, maybe? Yeah, a hunter or a mage, something like that. Boomkin would actually be pretty good. Yeah, Moonkin would actually be pretty fucking solid, because Starfall just goes all over the place. Yeah, Moonkin would actually be a top-tier choice, honestly, I think. That would be crazy. I'm so interested in this. It's insane. Good story. I love this. This is great. I can't wait to try this thing. Okay. So how do I do dungeons and raids? I manually target a dedicated player who's joined me. Okay, so it's like the Olympics or something. So you have somebody who goes with you. I /follow them to move between the packs. I can still fight, do mechanics, and communicate because that is announced to me. Oh. But simply walking from pack A to pack B or getting to the boss room or whatever, I use a /follow command to someone near me. Okay, so that makes sense. So somebody who is a partner will know the pack is dead, obviously, and then go and stand near you to make sure the /follow command works. So they'll, like, tag along with you like you were doing a sprint or something like that. So I'm going to bring to you some short stories, and I want to tell all of you these stories for two reasons. First, I think they're fucking hilarious. And secondly, to just put the word out there that, yes, blind people are able to play World of Warcraft. And we're not all demon hunters. And to let some of you know that sometimes when a person claims they're blind, they're actually not trolling, they're blind. Here's the question I put to you, though. Is it worth me... I mean, I think it is worth making a video. There's an irony in making a video because blind people can listen to the video. But even if you know someone who's blind, you can pass it on to them because you saw the video. So I think it's definitely worth a video. Okay. This is the segue to my first tale, my friends. A few months after... Your spelling is phenomenal for someone who's never seen letters before. I love it. A few months after I began playing, I was still trying to figure out the game. Wrath Classic was just over the horizon. I was experimenting with different classes. Oh, text-to-speech. True. God, it's a modern world. I still hadn't gotten a character to 70 yet. But since I'd heard about Wrath coming, I didn't really care too much about that. So I was dicking around on this level 22 or 23 Paladin when I got a whisper to do a BFD run. I was like, sure. I'd never done the dungeon before a day in my life. Ooh, right. Not the best choice for navigation. Ooh. There's a jumping puzzle in BFD. It's very simple, but that's based on being able to see the platforms. And there's a lot of water at the very beginning. There's also a maze that you have to negotiate to get to the dungeon. Okay. I'd never done the dungeon before a day in my life, and I was excited to do any dungeon at that point. Since the only dungeons I'd ever done were a couple of times when guildies boosted me through dead mines on their max characters before the boosting rules made it less viable. I found just standing at the entrance of a dungeon, AFK, boring as hell. Okay, so you were going in and they were just clearing it. Especially since I'd never done them before. So getting an actual invite to a dungeon was amazing. So I joined. I immediately explained the situation. Guys, I'm blind. Fully 100%. Can't see a goddamn thing. IRL. Full blind. This is not a joke. I'm not trolling you. I use an add-on to be able to play. Be honest. How many of you would kick somebody who started the invite with that message? I think a lot of you would. I think a lot of you would. I think you would. I think you would. You might be. I think some of you might be high and mighty here in the chat, but if someone joined saying they were like full blind, you'd be like, I don't know about this, dude. I personally would be more curious than anything. I'd be like, okay, let's see how this goes. I also explained that in order for me to move around in the dungeon, I will need to slash follow the tank since I was a melee. You do play melee? No way. You're playing melee? How? Holy crap, dude. I play melee DPS in order to get from pack to pack. Surprisingly, they sounded like... What are you playing? Oh, yeah, he's a paladin. Yeah, true. Yeah, he's a paladin. Okay, we're consecrating some shit. All right. We're consecrating and we're storming. All good. We're all good. We're just spamming AoE all over the place. Something will get hit. They seemed pretty excited about it. They welcomed it. All right, pretty good. They summoned me. Thank God this was Burning Crusade and not Vanilla Classic, where summoning stones actually worked. And we began with no issues. But then you probably know where it kind of went wrong. There's a water area. There is. Now, Mike, I can't tell you what this part looks like. Yeah, I get that. But somewhere near the beginning of Black Fathom Depths, there's a weird area where you're swimming in some water and you have to jump out and out of the water to proceed forwards. Yeah. Well, we get there, and no matter what, I cannot get on whatever this ledge is. That's when one of the party members came up with a literal wrinkly brain idea. Just complete genius. Dude, I've got it. You should disable the add-on that you're using to blacken your screen so you can see where to jump. As this was being read to me by my add-on, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, what? This guy, or maybe it was the whole party, I'm not sure, thought that I was doing some sort of online challenge and had turned my monitor off so I couldn't see the game. I was just sat thinking, why would I use an add-on or something to blacken my screen? What the hell? I was like, no. Guys, like I said, my screen probably works. Oh, you don't even know if your screen works. That's hilarious. It probably works. I don't know. I don't know, dude. My screen's probably working fine. I love the idea that you might have, like, one of the best monitors in the world. You might have, like, something like I've got, like this fucking MSI QLED fucking HDR to fuck 4K screen, and you've no idea if it works. I don't know. Okay. I said, no. Like I said earlier, my screen probably works fine. It's my eyeballs that don't work. This is genius. The responses I got were like, oh, okay. And then we did eventually figure out a way to get me over that damned water. I mean, you could... Yeah, I mean, if you're on /follow in the water, you'll need to jump at the very ledge. You would then, like, spam, like, jump forward now. It would eventually get up there, I think. And to be fair, Mike, the dungeon went very smoothly after that. But to this day, I still share that story of one of the funniest instances of when someone in WoW thought that I was doing an online blind challenge mode and not that I was actually blind. But, Mike, I do need to tell you something a little less funny. All right, serious faces now. Stop laughing. These stories happened later, during Wrath of the Lich King Classic. And by that time, I had learned a lot more about the game, because now I could finally play it. So we should be clear on this, in case we haven't picked up on this. It's the first time the dude's played World of Warcraft, right? Because this add-on didn't exist before then. Now the add-on exists, and now they're getting to play. I had learned a lot more about the game, to the point where I was confident I could start raiding. Okay. Interesting. I met this guy right before the expansion had launched, near the end of pre-patch. We hit it off, doing a lot of two-man ramps runs for gold and fun in our 70s, and we eventually decided we would start a guild together. Nice, got a bro. He wanted to be the leader, I would be the second in command. I was cool with this because I didn't know if any of the guild manipulation tools were accessible or not. Guild manipulation tools? Don't know what that means. He could do the mechanical stuff, like if he wanted a guild he promoted. Oh, I see. A guild he promoted, for example. He could do the actual promoting. I would have equal say, so everything looked good so far. We began the recruitment process. But the more I talked to this dude on Discord, let's give him a name. Let's go with Afterglow. The more I talked with Afterglow on Discord, the worse things got. It wasn't with me, though. Afterglow... Oh, wow. This got dark, Bex. Interesting. I could hear Afterglow verbally abusing his girlfriend live on Discord, calling her horrible names, threatening to throw stuff at her, just stupid, horrible things that I was hearing while he was playing. He then turned towards me. We trust Bex that there's a positive outcome here, but obviously warning if this thing's going to upset you a bit. Yeah, sorry, Afterglow. Fuck. Let's take that name away. Let's take that. I should trust when Bex doesn't add a name into the story. I should trust in that. Yeah, I should trust in that Bex didn't give this character a name for a reason. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. He then started to set his sights on me. He started trying to control who I was allowed to play with. He pulled me into officer chat one day because he found out that I had done a dungeon with players from another guild in my free time. I'm not about that life. So I told him straight up in no uncertain circumstances he has zero authority of who I fucking game with. Or who I socialize with. And same goes for me. I can't tell you who you play with either. He never brought it up again. No. Don't you listen? If you ignore bullies, they go away. Best advice ever. Best advice ever. He never brought it up again. But the straw that did break the camel's back was one night in Discord. We're all hanging out talking about food when our douche guild leader, who remains anonymous, flipped out. I'm in the middle of a fucking game and I'm stoned. I can't get any food right now because my bitch girlfriend won't get me any. Oh my god. So you should shut the fuck up and stop talking about food. Anyone who says any more about food will get their ass kicked. We went silent for a while, and that's when a plan formed in my head. I think it's time that I took over this guild. That is exactly what I did, my friends. The next day, I made a fresh Discord. I let everyone from that old guild know what the hell was going on, about the abuse that I had heard several times, all of it. I wasn't the only one, though. A lot of the guild left him immediately and joined me, gladly. So you are the blind leading. Interesting. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm some god of a guild leader or anything like that. But I could certainly say that I'm not abusing my girlfriend. Such a low bar. Look, here's my pitch for you guys to join my guild. I might not be the best, but I'm not abusing my girlfriend. Okay. And I don't forbid people playing with other players. And also, I am capable of getting my own food while I'm playing games. We lasted a bit in this new team of ours. Unfortunately, most guild controls were inaccessible for me. Blizzard! Ah? Get on it. Yeah? I couldn't promote, demote, I couldn't change the guild info or even name the guild ranks. I could only G-kick and G-invite. That's all I could do. So I tried to recruit trusted officers that could handle some of the technical stuff, as well as a competent raid leader. But my raid leader did end up taking my entire officer corps and making his own guild after we cleared Nax. You cleared Nax! Well played. Just before Ulduar launched. Maybe I deserved it. Maybe I shouldn't have taken the guild like that from that guy. Oh no, you totally should have done that. Yeah. 100%. But I don't know. I just couldn't stand just leaving without saying nothing. I had to at least say something about the stuff I witnessed on Discord. If you wish preach to the jury, you could judge me. Did I do something wrong? No, not at all. Should I have handled it differently? Maybe just said, I'm leaving, I can't stand this guy's conduct, rather than I'm leaving, this guy tries to dictate to people and abuse his girlfriend on Discord, etc. No, not at all. I think what you did there was actually, I'm not saying this because you're blind, but genuinely, for some reason, and I can't explain it, when people join a guild in an MMO, they somehow feel like they've committed to that for life, even though it's like horrible. But because they're like in a team, or they've found some sort of like community above just the general populace. We've seen it a billion times in drama. They're like, I owe something to these people because they typed my name into a guild invite message. Yeah, so I imagine even with all that going on, some people wouldn't have left. Like, things will get better. So yeah, you did a good thing. In my defense, I did tell people not just to believe me off the bat, to observe our GM and see if I'm missing something. I don't know, though. That whole situation was a clusterfuck, and I ended up taking a break for the entirety of Ulduar. Oh, Sag. Which leads me on to our little last story. Okay. Now, Mike, I will pre-warn you all. We've had funny, we've had sad. This story is infuriating. Okay. So I'm not entirely mad at everyone leaving my guild. As a leader, I was sort of neutered, simply because most of the guild interface I couldn't use. So we had some organizational problems. I couldn't label tabs in the guild bank or set restrictions on what people could get out. Even if they told me what they had set, that didn't necessarily mean it was true. I think there was a bit of doubt as to whether or not I could keep people from jacking everything out the guild bank and running. I was just sad at the fact that one minute I have a full guild planning for Ulduar, and then I wake up the next morning and all the raid team had left. No warning, no notice, no goodbye message, just gone. Well, that's really mean, right? Well, I decided on not being a guild master when I decided to play again. I was just trying to join a guild and not have to worry about the organization or any of the minutiae. I ended up joining this guild, who said they were a casual, friendly, social raiding guild. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Wave the flags, boys. Wave the flags. Oh, dear. Okay. Their plan was to go to Trial of the Crusader. My invite was easy and smooth, and they seemed really cool. I had long-ass Discord conversations with really nice people. The weekend I joined was the Alterac Valley weekend, so leveling characters got a crap ton of extra XP for doing Alterac Valley as well as bonus honor, but who cares? It was all about leveling for us. I got my Moonkin to 80, and that is what I wanted to main that tier. Good choice. Like it. We chose Moonkin earlier. Now, this weekend was the week right before the Trial of the Crusader would arrive. And it was the week right before the first Titan Rune dungeons dropped. I don't know what they are. Sorry, I didn't play Classic for those periods of time. I have no idea what Titan Runes are. Titan Rune dungeons. Are these like Mythic Plus Classic dungeons or some shit? I don't know. So that Monday, I took my freshly 80 Moonkin and I grinded those alphas, getting enough gear to participate in that week's raid. Our guild did a poll asking what day would be best for raids. It was decided Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Most of us decided Friday was the play. The first red flag I noticed was our officer corps on that Friday. Who raids on a Friday? What the fuck? That's disgusting. Friday raiding? Ew. It was evening my time. I don't remember the specific time. But I decided to see where people in the guild were. I ended up finding out that every single one of our officers was already in Trial of the Crusader. Nobody was notified in the guild. There was no sign-ups. There was no scheduling. No conversation. No announcements of any sort. I asked another guildie, do you know what's going on? He's as baffled as I am. So he takes it to the green and calls out the officers, asking them, why are you in the raid while we're sorting out raiding with us? We're doing officer practice, they said. It's just a test raid, don't worry. What the fuck is a test raid? I've done all kinds of raiding, from PTR to endgame. Test raid? What the fuck is a test raid? Now, of course, I am worried. Let me explain. To me, I find honesty is the best policy. I have no problem if I'm in a raiding guild and that raiding guild from the start straight up says, look, we have a system when a new raid comes out, we go in, learn it, and then make it easier for everyone else. Fuck that. After all, our officer team should be made up of our most experienced players. Oh, that's really cute. Oh, I mean, it should. It should. Makes sense, right? Given their rank, they're the ones who should know their classes and the game the best of the whole guild. Yeah. Yeah, they should. For the first week or two, we're going to go into the raid and develop strategies, they said. Test out all the bosses. See how the fights work. That way, we can be better prepared to bring our knowledge to the entire team. I have never heard of this in my entire life. This is just insane. This is just insane. I'm okay with it though, Mike. Why? Why are you okay with this? Why? I also don't have a problem if a guild from the start honestly tells us we have a core team. If you want to try out, you can, but it's not guaranteed. Our core team is pretty set, but you can be on the second team if you want. All right, sure. A lot of guilds do that. I'm cool. I'm cool with being a bench raider as well. I understand that I come with an extra bit of care. True. Cool with all of it. If that's how you present yourselves, and honestly from the start, or if you have some sort of announcement saying this is what we're going to be doing, just tell me truthfully and I'm all good. As you could probably tell, this guild did not present itself like that. They told me instead they didn't believe in set raid teams. They said they believed in raid signups. Okay. If you want to raid that night, you signed up. All they ask is that you are fair and don't sign up for all of the raids that week. Okay. But why? If they say had a raid on a Friday, a Saturday, and the Sunday, maybe don't sign up on one day so that others have a chance. How many people are signing up for these raids? I mean, it is Wrath Classic, so there are limited spots. But isn't that up to the officers to rotate people in and out? Honestly, Mike, once they told me that, I was cool with it. Like I said, they did tell me beforehand that they were a casual, social, friendly guild. All right. They also decided to be democratic on making a poll for raid days. Most people said that their best raid day was Friday. This is why the officers deciding to raid TOC that week was genuinely infuriating, because they were doing these test raids on the Friday. They chose the day that the majority of the guild said that they wanted to raid, didn't post a sign up, only went with their friends, then tried to pass it off as some sort of practice. I was pissed, but at this point I held my tongue. Saturday arrives. Our first official raid day. We non-officers were then given a message that last night had converted its purpose and wasn't actually a practice raid. No. They had decided that their raid had gone so well that they had made the official Friday raid the officer raid. And are naming it Alpha Team. Alpha Team. I love it. Alpha Team. Alpha Team. Roll out. Alpha Team. At this point, I'm super pissed. But I did want to raid, so I stayed. What did we just say? You started off so well earlier. You started off so well, and now look where you are. Now look where you are. You started so well, but now you're like committed. I had, of course, signed up for Saturday raid, and my girlfriend had signed up for Sunday to keep things fair. Motherfucker, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I hate this so much. They decided to use Master Looter, with the raid leader being the Master Looter. And for those who don't know, this was a loot setting where you could designate a specific player in the raid, and that player would be the only one who could pick up gear the boss dropped. We would roll on each piece with /roll between 0 and 100, and the Master Looter would then distribute the items to the winner. I had already explained that when you do the Master Looter and link the gear pieces in chat, my add-on... Oh no. They're going to abuse a blind kid. For WoW pixels. They're going to abuse... What dropped? Fucking mage staff in it, mate. And what else? Caster trinket. What else? Healing shit. You know what I mean? Everybody roll for the healing shoulders. Nah, mate. No loot that you need dropped all night. Fucking unlucky, pal. Unlucky. Really unlucky. I had explained that when you link the loot and do the rolls, my add-on can't actually read the stats for the pieces, only the names. So, the raid leader, can you please let me know when items drops that I can use? Oh, you're on your Moonkin, aren't you? It's all rogue gear. Plate and shit, you know what I mean? I told them I was a Moonkin who was an engineer alchemist. And any items I could use before they were rolled on, could you just let me know and then let me know what stats they are? First boss, nothing. We do the loot. I hear a bunch of items drop. Nobody reads out anything. The same goes on the second boss, so I start to wonder. Nothing's dropping that my Moonkin can use? No recipes, rings, necklaces, nothing? This guild already tried to pull some dishonest shit, so I started to get a little sus. I also got suspicious because after the rolling had already stopped, one of the nicer guildies, a non-officer, traded me the item. What a fucking Chad. What a Chad. I mean, this guy could have spoke up and announced the items, which would have been Giga Chad, but to win it and then be like, here you go, buddy. There you go. That's maybe the guy was nervous, didn't want to get kicked or whatever, but still. And thankfully, the people at Atlas Loot did make their add-on compatible with SKU by the developer. So I looked the belt up and I found out the damn belt dropped from the freaking boss we just killed, as in the dude trading to me had won it from the roll and then traded it to me. I didn't even know it existed until it appeared in my bags. So obviously, these people aren't telling me shit. And the worst was the next boss, the faction champions. We kill it. And one of the drops was the Talisman of Volatile Power. One of the most amazing caster trinkets you could get. It gives ludicrous crits, plus a stacking haste buff. It's the tits. It drops. I'm over here looking through Atlas Loot, trying to match the names of the items I heard drop to the items the faction champs dropped. Yes, since they were intentionally not telling me what items had dropped, I had to listen to my text-to-speech for the name of each item, remember what they were called so I could review it, and then search through it through Atlas Loot to see what it was. Are you not able to go, like, what dropped? Can you guys tell me what dropped? Or are you a bit nervous about getting called out? Like, that's what I would do, right? It's like, you key up and be like, so what dropped? Can you tell me what's dropped? And then if they openly lie to you, that's like crazy then at that point. Needless to say, this experiment failed miserably, since by the time I had actually found the item in Atlas Loot, they had already rolled it and distributed the loot. I'm looking and I hear our raid leader say something along the lines of, ooh, nice trinket there. That spell haste is going to be really good for you. I remembered that one of the items that dropped had the word talisman in it, so off I went looking for talisman. The only item that met both my criteria is the trinket I just mentioned, the one that is really fucking good for me. But no one told me it existed. Now, I want to be clear to everyone listening to this. I didn't ask them to give me any items. All I asked was for them to let me know the items that would be good for me, so I could fairly roll on them with everyone else. If I had known about the trinket, rolled on it and lost, I would have GG'd the guy and moved on with my life. It was the fact that they were not telling me what dropped, which got me. I have a question here. I'm not being rude, I don't think. As far as you know, Arthur, do you actively participate in the fights? Like, I need to test this out on myself. Does it tell you, like, when Sunfire and Moonfire are falling off and things like that? Or do you kind of just press buttons and hope they're going off? It tells you. Have you tried it, Enos? Okay. All right, we need to test this out because I need to know. Like, are you doing stuff? I mean, I'm trying not to be mean. I'm just picturing a world where someone might be, like, stood facing the wrong way. Because the faction champions do all sorts of crazy shit. The first boss, Ice Howl, he like throws you into walls and all sorts of stuff. He like really moves you around the room a lot. Yeah, I assume the author's got plenty of experience here, so I'm just curious how this works. I'm just curious. Needless to say, I got no more gear during that raid. I do have to be fair though and say the reason I didn't get any more gear is because nobody did. We couldn't kill the twins. You see, how do you cope with a fight like that where the room's full of orbs and you've got to soak up orbs and shit like that? There's no way an add-on can call that out for you. It happens too fast. Really interested. What made it worse though, guys, wasn't just something towards me, is they treated my girlfriend like shit the next day as well. It was her literal first ever raid in World of Warcraft, and they knew it. They didn't explain shit. They yelled at her if she was even slightly out of position, told her she was shit, and that didn't know what she was fucking doing. And because of them, she has never raided in World of Warcraft again. Oh, look, if you're listening to this, raids aren't like that. You just got really unlucky. And you can make some of the best friendships in there. You really can. I'm fucking... Look, Nups works here. I met him when he was 16 in Molten Core. Alright? So, anybody... I'm talking to anybody. Anybody who ever feels like they can't raid because you had a bad experience, get going. Get going. Thankfully, I convinced her... Okay, I should have read on. Thankfully, she did give it another chance later on, and now she loves raiding. Alright, good news. Good news. All right, we did get to come back. Needless to say, but by that Monday, both me and my girl had left that guild and, of course, left that Discord and never to look back. The point still stands. If you're somebody who's had a bad experience with a terrible raid team, it's just bad luck. It really is. Do some due diligence on where you go and you'll be all right. The story as a whole does have a happy ending, though. I ended up joining a really cool raid guild called Afterglow. See the way I saved it? After that, and we ended up clearing Trial of the Crusader, even trying a couple of heroic bosses, although we only got to kill heroic beasts. After that, I started winding down again from WoW until I found the Blind Slash add-on. Oh, it's two add-ons. The Blind Slash add-on. This is the equivalent to SKU, but for retail. I ended up leaving Classic behind, all of its versions, and now you can find me playing the War Within, maining my Rep Pally, and looking forward to raiding Mythic one day. I got ahead of the curve last season. Some of y'all got completely outplayed by a blind guy. Get fucked. Which was very exciting. I know I said this would be short when I started, but I had a lot more to say than I thought. Hey, we loved it. It was great. I hope everyone enjoyed my unique perspective of Classic Blind Play. Surely did, and I will be checking out that add-on to make more people aware of it outside of Drama Time. You can guarantee that will be on the main channel at some point next week to go with that. For sure. Okay. We're going to a game we haven't actually covered on Drama Time before, but many of you know very well. Ladies and gentlemen, this drama takes place in Path of Exile. If this is just, if Elon Musk has written me a drama story, I will be very impressed. Yeah, I was going to say, if the muskrat has fucking written a drama story to get our opinion, he needs judgment. This rat called Quinn keeps bullying him, and now he needs the Preach Gaming jury to decide what's up. All right, let's go. We're speedrunning. Preacher, hello. I come to you today from America. To talk to you about a little-known game called PoE 2. I've been gaming ARPGs hardcore since 2017. I have 2,500 hours in PoE 1. I've clocked 202 since the launch. If you were to look at my gaming history, there is a stark decline in the amount of any other game I've played and the launch of Path of Exile. I am part of a Discord that is a decently regular group of people that play ARPGs. It's not nearly as popping nowadays since it was founded around Diablo 2 Resurrected when that came out. I recall when D2 Resurrected dropped and the Discord exploded with people because the people in that server brought back Diablo 2 PvP tournaments. I'm not sure how many of these styles of Discords there are, but I feel that ours was decently large considering there were regular PvP tournaments every week that paid out in a currency called Forum Gold. Through a third-party site called something. I don't know if this is okay or not. I'm just going to be... Apparently, it's some sort of forum trading that is popular in Diablo 2 because it allows for a trading platform outside of the game. So if it appears in the chat, that's out of my control. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, and I don't need Daddy Blizzard shouting at me again. Diablo 2 does not have a good trading system in the game. So way back in the day, the forum was made to allow people to post. Oh, I see. It's like the way PoE did it, kind of. Trades are then intermediate currencies used to facilitate forum gold. If I want to buy a piece of gear, then I would respond to a forum post. Think of it like old Reddit forums, where they listed the items for trade. Send them forum gold, the currency of the forum, via a DM. Then they would meet me in game to trade me the item that was listed on the forum. Okay, so this is to avoid real money transactions, right? Can you buy forum gold? The forum was also used, like I mentioned earlier, to also pay out hosted tournaments. Many of you might be wondering, if you're unfamiliar with ARPGs and trading, especially in D2, how do I get me some forum gold so I can join in the trading? Well, you have two options. Farm items in-game and then sell them on the forum. Fair enough. Or whip out the credit card and buy some forum gold, baby. The site has an option to allow you to buy it directly through the forum. Are you guys like the originators of crypto? Is Diablo 2 responsible for Bitcoin? Is that what I'm looking at here? This is like the OG crypto. Is that what's going on here? Okay. So you might be wondering something else. Isn't this just RMT, which is real money trading? I'm sure most of us know. Well, in Blizzard's eyes, it's okay. Since you're converting your real-life money to a different currency that only has value on the forum, and since it's been utilized for decades, they turn a blind eye to it. Huh. So, I mean, they definitely know this exists, so okay. I mean, they obviously are. Some have stated that since the forum gold can be used in different games that are on the forums, then it's not really RMT. Actually. And there's others that see this for what it is, which is blatantly RMT. So there are some people who are like, it's not technically RMT, and then there's other guys who are like, of course it's RMT. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, I'm in that camp. This is definitely RMT. This is blatantly RMT because you can literally just buy the forum gold and turn that into gear. I personally fall into the, yeah, this is RMT category. So I don't participate in that aspect of it. I see. I'll be honest, I did trade forum gold, but all my forum gold was earned via selling items, mentioned before, having pretty much stayed out of Diablo 2 scene since it was launched, because there was no way I could compete with the people that were in the tournaments. Number one, I don't like PvP, and two, no matter what level of efficiency of farming I have, I can't keep up with people with a big fat credit card. And that is why RMT sucks. It is cheating in a game where you progress and your accomplishments are on the back of farming for gear, so you can kill monsters faster to get better gear, kill hard bosses with gear, rinse, repeat. If you bring in the real money. Now, that's not true. Diablo 3 was a runaway success at launch, and that had RMT in it. At least that's how my memory works. It just ruins the whole reason to play, and any accomplishments earned are undermined because it wasn't truly earned by your own efforts. This was all a few years ago, but it's relevant to what comes next. I give you this preamble to the story because during the forums, during Diablo 2's height, I had a conversation with people that will be partaking in our tale here, and about my stance on RMT, and it was ultimately the reason that I stopped playing Diablo 2 Resurrected. There's no fun if I'm the only guy legitimately not taking part in RMT and trying to play the game straight up. More on this later. Mike, it is December 8th, 2024, and you will remember it well as our beloved Grinding Gear Games blessed us with PoE 2 early access. Oh, what a night it was. I streamed for 6 hours and made it to the login screen by midnight. Woo! What a night it was. It was a great stream though. We had a lot of fun with it. It has been amazing to say the least. As someone with a large amount of PoE one time, I was obviously stoked for 2. The initial launch was rough. I started Titan, but felt a bit clunky and rerolled to the Infernalist minion build. Metagamer. After clearing Act 3, I was able to smash that campaign. Good stuff, by the way. Highly recommend listening to the story if you play. Nah. And entered maps 50 hours in between the 2 characters. I landed on a gas arrow Deadeye that uses a bow, and it has been where most of the game has been played. More on that later on, though. Throughout the launch of the game, I have been back in the Discord server mentioned earlier, where the Diablo 2 stuff was going on a few years ago, because there are ARPG people there, and a couple of my friends still hang out there. PoE is not known for what you would call simple gameplay, so I was offering as much advice as I can to everyone who started playing too. Very nice. Now, to be clear, it's only been 4 or 5 people consistently, but I have helped people search for correct styles of items on the PoE trade site, explain mechanics, help them steer them from making too many decisions that would brick their characters. But I try not to dictate a build. I want people to figure out their own stance. There's a lot of fun in theory crafting and coming up with the way you like to play. My general principle is to have them explain what they're trying to do and then help them get there with the gearing and stuff, versus saying you should play this and this is what you need. I'm not a guide writer or a build creator by any means, but I've got down a lot of bosses without using a guide, so I feel pretty confident in doing this. Earlier this week, our group was on again, 4 of us in total. I had taken some vacation during this week, so I had spent the day farming ultimatums. It's a style of content that takes 10 challenges to complete, and each challenge gives better rewards, so that I could acquire fragments for killing the big Reach boss. Yeah! The goal was to unlock my initial Atlas points by purchasing my first boss fragment off the PoE trade site, since it would give you a perk to get more splinters that I was already farming, so I could get more stuff on my own. At the end of the day, before everyone got back in the evening, I acquired 3 full Breach fragments. Okay. But I wanted to share this with my friends. So, the other guys obviously paid me 50 exalted orbs to share in what I had farmed. Good. I had paid a lot for them as well. I passed a fragment to each person, and I bought the fourth one with the orbs that they had paid me. Seems fair. We've got 4 fragments now, group participation, and we're off to kill the boss 4 times so that everyone can get their points. Alright, seems good. I want to give some information here because this can get confusing. PoE uses a currency system to facilitate crafting and trading. It does. Imagine 1 exalted orb is $1 and a divine orb is $100. That's the only relevant info that's needed to understand the values of what's going on. I want to tell you all, it was the most fun, or some of the most fun I've ever had in a game in a long time. The boss had so much more HP with 4 people there. I think the scaling in multiplayer in PoE 2 is wacky, right? It's like 2,000% or something stupid. It's really crazy. I did see a video on it. It's like they have way more. It's not like 4x. It's like fucking 20x or something. We were not in optimized builds. Don't get me wrong, we were all around high level and decently geared, but we did kill him 4 times successfully, and we all had a great time. I didn't think he would have been a huge challenge if we fought him individually, but with the 4 people, it was satisfying and it gave us added difficulty. After we all downed and got our stones and collected our passive points, we were preparing for a nice break. Ryan, one of the players, pipes up on Discord that he wished we could keep farming the boss because he was having so much fun. Another player, Mariko, started lolling. Yo, Ryan, I know what you're thinking. I immediately caught on to exactly what they were all thinking. They were going to use RMT. Given what I had told you earlier, I had been holding out hope that the RMT practices of Diablo were not making their way here, and I am starkly against it, and they both knew it. I make a little joke as I step away to go to the bathroom, and how it would be funny if you got banned because you were trying to RMT PoE, and PoE takes that shit seriously. I came back about 10 minutes later, giving them enough time to mull it over and hopefully come to a right decision. I was refreshed. I was ready to settle back into my chair for the big PoE grind, along with the rest of the team. I took a second before going into any more maps and decided I needed to say something. And if you guys RMT, just know that I'll leave the guild and I will not play with you. There is no reason to RMT in this game. We're doing good farming. Our characters are already good. We do not need whatever you would need from real money. Just play the game and everything comes. Ryan pipes up very, very quickly. I'm not RMTing, but I just happen to have all these divine orbs, and I don't know what I did to get them. I must be very lucky. I became so frustrated on the spot, it was palpable. I'm not someone to yell or anything like that, but true to my word, I just left the guild on the spot and left the party. I was devastated. I had the best time that night playing with those dudes. I'm still on the Discord, so we go on to have a bit of a conversation, and I explain it to them as best I can. Look, man, if GGG catches wind that people are RMTing, they take a guilty by association approach. They'll ban the whole guild if there's any trace of that currency back to benefiting people directly or otherwise. You put all our accounts at risk. I'm fucking out. From this point on, I won't play with you. I will not trade with you. I'm just not doing anything with you guys again. He then decided that that wasn't good enough, and he had a justification. I didn't care. I tried to shut down his defense at every step that it's bannable. It's not allowed. It doesn't need to be done anyway. We could just play the game and get this stuff, but it didn't matter. He's of the opinion that his time value versus game value is different to mine because he has what he quotes as a real job, and he could spend his money however he wants, and if he wants to buy gear or items, then it's his right to do so because his time is more valuable than farming. I couldn't even reason with him that the whole frigging point of the game is to fucking farm. It's a farm game. And that by him doing that, it fucks over what the game even is. I got off a little after that. I talked to everyone that was in our group and warned them that I would not go near anyone that is RMTing ever. Let's go to a couple of days, Mike, and this is a Friday night. The whole gang is back on. I'm not gaming with them, but still in the Discord doing my own thing while they farm maps. For those who don't know, there was a recent exploit in the early access that was allowing for very expensive items, unique ones, to be farmed more than they should have been, and there was a high chance that RMT sites were profiting off it to help sell more RMT. We were talking about the exploit when Ryan piped up saying something to the tune of, "It's not that big of a deal. People shouldn't really be so concerned about RMT because items should have a real world value in this game because they're so precious." He then went on to explain that he had just bought a brand new offhand focus for its build, which he used his leftover purchased divines for the other day, and that he would have never been able to craft it himself, so it was worth. I lost my fucking mind. Any composure of this situation that I had left pretty much on the table at this point. After a long-winded discussion that I'm going to give cliff notes on, this was the basis of how they had arrived at this conclusion, and obviously why I'm here before the court, that's our live audience, to get your opinion. Number 1, cheating boils down to any form of progression you obtain without doing it yourself. Even trading in a game based on loot is cheating. That is some fucking Simone Biles level dancing to arrive at that conclusion. That is not just the fucking pummel horse. That's the rings. That's the parallel bars. That's the whole fucking suite of gymnastics going on there. Okay. Number 2. Guides, videos, and any source of external information is also cheating because you're not learning it yourself. 3. If you trade or use outside information, then you're a cheater. RMT is the same thing as reading guides or trading items. It's just a different way of doing the same thing and therefore should not be problematic. Wow. I'm really concerned that somebody here might be like, yeah, I see that. Because no, absolutely not. My response that I present to the court. You guys are going out of your way to justify cheating, and it's really annoying. If you use real money to obtain anything outside of the game, then you have purchased power that you did not earn. Not to mention that this is clearly against the rules. Reading a guide or watching a YouTube video is not remotely close to buying currency with your credit card. If I didn't want to have access to trading for gear, then I would have played SSF after this debacle. Solo self-found, for those who don't know what that is. And I might just do that. Trading and guides are not cheating. Using a guide may diminish a personal satisfaction of people who like learning, but other than that, it is not cheating. But they were totally convinced that their argument was correct. They tried to gaslight me that I was just as bad as them because I had watched YouTube videos on one of the boss fights so that I didn't waste my first stone. I don't know. Maybe Preacher the Court can have that discussion, but I'm on the side of reading external info. Why have you bought into this discussion and you like try to give credit to what they're saying? Am I wrong? They've got you second guessing yourself. Or maybe they're right, actually. I don't know. Is this true? I don't know. Everybody keeps telling me that the moon is made of cheese. Maybe it is made of cheese. Huh. I would genuinely be interested in your take on that, Preach, though I'm not sure I know. I'm sure I know the answer. Yeah, just know that if you find guys cheating, then Preach is the biggest cheater on the planet. Fuck you. Did you know this guy made guides for like 8 years and has released more cheats than anyone else in history? I did kill the expedition boss blind, though the campaign boss is a +4 difficulty. I mean, there's no discussion to be had here. It's pretty simple. Do the people who make the game consider it cheating? Yeah, then it's cheating, right? There's no discussion to be had. It's cheating. And I don't think people who buy it understand the point. The whole point, if they're so clueless on this, let's say they're totally bought into this and they're like, they don't understand it. I will simplify it for you as to why one is cheating and one isn't. Like, trading items is not cheating. Buying items is cheating. Why? Okay, pretty simple. The point is that both of you are playing the game and to collect resources which fuel a positive economy. Okay? If you're buying it, you are just taking out of that economy. What you're not doing is promoting the function of a trade economy, which is to produce resources within it. You are producing not just currency to spend, but items that can be traded, things that can be upgraded, all those extra things that come with playing the game. Okay? The whole way Path of Exile specifically works is by allowing every player to tailor the content they like to do. That's what your Atlas system does. If you prefer this way of playing, you tell. And the whole idea is that you go that way, somebody else goes that way, somebody else goes this way, because they love that. And then they produce all the resources from these different areas. And that means there's a constantly moving economy. RMT just takes and takes and takes because none of it was played to achieve. Therefore, it's bad. It's bad for the game. It's bad for the players. That's how it works. It's not that confusing. And you also know this, you lying motherfuckers. Because of course you do. Right? Because you're not 2 years old. At this point, Mikey, I'm on the fence about even joining that Discord anymore. I came to find out during the discussion that both Ryan and Maricus had been RMTing multiple times throughout early access, and I'm so frustrated. Why are you fucking spending RMT on early access? And I'm so frustrated that it has killed my enjoyment I have with playing with them, despite the fact that besides this, I like them. I purposely left the fourth guy out of this story because he has similar views to mine, but wanted to give him a shout out in the story since I referenced the 4 people that denounced RMT. Just to clarify another point, I don't think they RMT'd on the forums. That was only relevant to Diablo 2. To end on a positive note, my character is outperforming the RMTers. Oh, God, you shocker. You what? You mean you played the game more and got more practice and now your character is better? Weird. What a surprise. I killed that boss at +4 difficulty with self-farmed stuff and expedition boss. I'm still farming logbooks to finish all those fights. I'm grinding my way through Delirium. Yeah. Getting it done. Getting it done. I'm probably just going to make the switch to SSF. I don't think you need to do that if you like trading. Just don't trade with them. I think it would be a fun challenge, and I could avoid this stuff entirely. I will leave everyone with this who's listening. Don't RMT if it's not allowed. If you feel that you need power from some shady third-party website, just don't. Go read a guide. Learn what to do. Try it yourself. Using PoE as an example. It takes a while to understand the game. Yeah, it does. And get better gear and know what to do. But it's a game. Have fun. Learn at your own pace. And don't cheat. That's my tale, and I hope when I read the chat, I can see some interesting discussion on this. I don't think so. I think we're all in the same thing. I think we're all in the same boat. I don't think there's any of that. Right. We're at 11 minutes late. Wonderful. What a speed run that was. So I'm sorry we have to abruptly finish, but I'm sure I will look into those comments and things. But yes, I think we mostly agree. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you Monday. No, I will see you tomorrow. It's the Plunderstorm tournament tomorrow. We will be live tomorrow for a lot of the day. Getting ready for the $50,000 Plunderstorm tournament. What kind of tactics me and Nibs are going to deploy, I don't know, but I hope to see you there. It should be a lot of fun. And we'll also be playing against a lot of content creators. So maybe we'll... I won't be killing Annie over and over again this time. Maybe. All right. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.